Greetings, VAC fans, especially those with an SC899 extra wide hammerhead type of Sanitaire. Jeez, the width of this thing is absolutely enormous. So this appears to be about 17.5 inches wide, and the brush roll inside is commonly referred to as the 16-inch brush roll. Just for comparison's sake, compared to an SC888, look at that. So there, if I stick it over to one side, look at all the extra room. So there's a standard brush roll, and then obviously that's much bigger. So I wanted to do something, because I rarely get a chance to actually test a machine, and I haven't done anything to this machine other than just, let's just call it get the big chunks out. And I had to put a belt on, because what was in there hardly resembled a belt. It was about half shot. So I did put a new belt on so things would actually spin, and I cleaned the chunks off pretty much in the brush roll cavity. I haven't touched anything else. Now the bag, that is the F&G bag that is in this machine currently, you see you got this fill line right here. Well, it's somewhere between maybe about, say, 2/3 to maybe 3/4 full. And at least, say, from about that height all the way down is packed solid, literally like a brick. And that dirt could have been in there for a number of years. I'm not too sure. So I'm going to run this thing in its current condition. And like I said, I just did kind of a minor get the chunks out and put a belt on to make sure that it runs. And let's actually test the airflow two ways. And these aren't like, like official measurements or anything like that. These are just fun measurements. So the bag's going to be packed with, we'll say, commercial church grade dirt, near full. And I'm certainly going to go ahead and replace it, obviously. And then why don't I just take the entire bag assembly off? So I'm just pop it off and let it run without any exhaust impediment whatsoever. So we'll go and we'll test it two ways. Now you'll notice this is bigger than my airflow box. It is bigger than my airflow box actual airflow opening. So one problem I have in this case is that my airflow box opening is really just about as wide as this 888 brush roll. So it's about 12 inches wide, and this is wider than that. So when I turn this on, you will actually hear some of the bristles hitting the side of this box right here and over here. So it's going to sound wrong. There's nothing wrong with the machine. The machine sounds fine, but on this airflow box, it's wider than I was ever imagining that I would ever measure a vacuum. So let's just run it as is, and we'll see what's going on with it. But don't actually be too bothered that this is wider than the box. Turns out I did round number one test with this thing half hour, 45 minutes ago, and having the very ends, just a little bit here and here, of the brush roll spinning and hitting the cardboard doesn't seem to really affect the machine a whole lot, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. So let me run it initially, bag hooked up in all of its glorious cloggedness, and let's see what we get for an airflow for this thing. Airflow measurement. Won't that be fun? All right, here we go. It's going to sound weird. Yeah, you can hear the bristles actually, just the edges, tapping this cardboard. So 35, 83. So about 94 CFM. And of course, that's a fairly significant opening in there. And guess what? This machine, right, is pretty easy to push at 93.5 CFM. The opening here, square area minus the belt guard, is about 30 some odd square inches. So that's not bad for an airflow density. Pretty easy to push. Even if I were to, say, set it on normal, I don't have to go all the way up to, like, say, low shag or whatever else. So let's go ahead now and just take the whole bag assembly completely off. So let's see, I hope you can see that. There, so it's just hanging. The exhaust is free as a bird. So let's see what happens now. Bit of a difference. So 6811, 100, and we'll round it, 178 CFM. So yeah, I think the motor's running just fine. Now I've got to do my my magic and stuff on this particular machine to clean it all up and order whatever parts I need. But you know what? I think at the end of this video, you know what I'll do? I will tack on to the end of this video how much the full bag actually weighs, because I gotta know how many pounds of dirt's actually in the bag. One fish scale later, let's see what we got. Do you hook your dirt bag? Well, apparently I have to. Okay, we are at 2 pounds, 2 ounces. So that is dirt by the pound. And guess where that's going? Look, it's so big it stands up by itself. And just to show you the belt I had to replace. So not a whole lot left of it. Time to start the cleanup.